Hello and welcome back to Frogboy X1 Gaming. I'm Andrew and today is day 6 of the AMD, from switching from Nvidia to AMD. So if you like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe. Now I did record today's day 5's video this morning, but this is day 6. I'm getting ready to unwind and get ready for bed. Done a lot of testing today. Had Grand Jr. come over, so we spent some time with him. But back to the problem that I was having with my Ubisoft games. I went ahead and I checked the Division 2 as well as Far Cry 5 and bought Far Cry 6 so that I could further test that engine after the results that I got from Far Cry 5. And I can comfortably say that I am not having problems with the Snowdrop engine nor the Dunia engine. So this is inherent to whatever engine they're using to power Watch Dogs, Ghost Recon, and Assassin's Creed to an extent. Assassin's Creed is nowhere near as bad as the Ghost Recon or the Watch Dog games. So Watch Dog Legions, that one stutters probably the most out of all of them. Like the stop, it's not that it stutters, it just freezes for a second and then it goes, and it's pretty regular. It's like every minute I'll get that freeze, that stutter. Watch Dogs Legion was probably Watch Dogs or Watch Dogs 2 is that one will go almost 2 minutes before it does the little hitch. And then, what was it? Ghost Recon is about a minute intervals when it does that hitch. So that's like literally the only problem I'm having with this card is those games. And then like the sound issue on those games too as well. Every now and then the sound will like pop out for a minute and I'm like, what the freak, man? What's going on with these Ubisoft games? So, as far as testing other games, let me just pull up my little list of games that I've gotten here. Since I've had this card, I've tested Assetto Corsa Competizione, Cyberpunk 2077, Dirt Rally 2.0, Dying Light 2, Fallout 76, Far Cry 6, Forspoken, Ghost Recon Breakpoint, Hogwarts Legacy, Horizon Zero Dawn. I bought a copy of Kena Bridge of Spirits. I'm going to be testing that out for you guys as well. I did play for it a little while, not getting any stutter, no freezing, nothing like that with that game. Marvel Spider-Man Remastered runs flawlessly on this card. MotoGP 21 runs flawlessly on here. Returnal, the Division 2, TT Isle of Man, Right on the Edge 3, Watch Dogs Legion, Watch Dogs 2, Wild Hearts, Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, WRC 10 and WRC Generations. Now I have done some other games like Dead Island 2, which is on the Epic store. Then over onto the Ubisoft store, I've got Assassin's Creed Valhalla over there, and Far Cry 5. I think that's it. I still mean to download Control from Remedy, give that one a shot, see how that one's running on here. But overall, let me just tell you the ones that I'm having issues with. Out of that whole list that I just told you, I am getting issues with Forspoken. It does like this little stutter thing. It doesn't just stop like the Ubisoft games does. It just stutters every once in a while. And then you get down the list here a little ways. You get to where is it? Watch Dogs Legion. That one there gives me the freeze problem. The Watch Dogs 2 gives me the freeze problem. Wild Hearts gives me some stuttering every now and then. Witcher 3 ran great, but WRC 10, WRC Generations, and TT Isle of Man 3 all have the same exact pausing thing that that I'm getting with those other games. Now I have used the AMD software to delete the utility to delete the drivers and then re-download them. I have an overclock switch on this card that I tried the other position, and that gave me 2 screens, 1 screen blacked out, and very unstable. I started playing a game, and that was just very unstable. Started making the screens blink and everything else. So that one there is probably not a good idea to use that. I did do a benchmark on it. I did like a stress test, and it would drop in and out of power every so often, and it looked like it was running at a lower frequency than what the card normally runs at. I think this card is running at like 24 megahertz or something, like 2400 or something. It's just it's up there. But I do have over 160 something games just on Steam alone. Like, I will be testing a bunch more of these. Oh, you know what? I did check out Way of the Hunter. Way of the Hunter on here is good for the most part, but it does have some stuttering issues as well. So that's just some things that I need to work out with this card. But overall, the more I've played with it, the more I've experienced it, the more I've played games, and like when they work and they work good, and I'm blown away. So I'm hoping that this is just like a driver issue that maybe AMD or somebody can come in here and fix. I mean, the games that I'm experiencing these problems on are games that I've already beat, and I've got other copies on Xbox and everywhere else. So I mean, they are still playable for me in one way, in one way or another. Like, I can still utilize these titles. So it's not like, oh my gosh, I just bought a brand new game and it's broken. So I mean, it's one of those things where the newer the game is, the better they run as well, for the most part. Except for TTI Alaman 2 in my rally games. I can't seem to figure out how to get those ones working. But Dirt Rally 2.0, man, that thing is butter freaking smooth. So I mean, the positives of this card definitely outweigh the negatives, and I was saying earlier that I probably would end up going back to Nvidia at some point, and that's probably true, but not anytime soon. Like, it's not going to be anytime this year. It'd probably be sometime around when I get my taxes or something, if I decide to get an Nvidia. But I mean, here's the thing. If AMD's drivers get better over time, if they get better by that time and I have no issues or no real reason to upgrade, then I won't have to as fast as that. But I'm not saying, and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that AMD is bad. I'm just saying that these are like things that I noticed, and I'm not blaming Nvidia for this. Like, I didn't even buy, I'm not blaming AMD for this. I bought the XFX version of the AMD card. So if anything, I would be pointing my fingers at them first before pointing my fingers at AMD. Well, I guess I should have done the same thing with the Nvidia card, because I bought that OC, that Gigabyte one. So I don't know, man. Like, I don't know. At the end of the day, right now, the way I'm feeling about this card is I feel fairly good about it. Like, I'm able to do everything that I was doing, for the most part, better than what I had before in a lot of ways. And then some ways I'm like, oh man, well, that was a little bit better. Like, I'm not even gonna try to pull your chain, man. Like, Cyberpunk 2077, when I'm playing that game without ray tracing, immaculate, freaking incredible. But when I turn ray tracing on, I do get a significant freaking hit in performance on that game. If I turn on overdrive, it's unplayable. But if I just run regular ray tracing at 1440p, like, I mean, it's playable. Like, I get a playable frame rate up to 60 FPS. So that there doesn't really bug me, and that's fine. Like, I can utilize that, I can play that, I can still have a good time. Like, when I beat Cyberpunk 2077, I went through it at 30 frames a second on my Xbox Series X. So when that new DLC comes out, I will purchase that on the Xbox, because that's where my save is. I mean, I can transfer my save to any one of them or whatever, but that's where I started the game. That's where I will finish the game, is on the Xbox. I'm still mainly an Xbox gamer. Like, I'm still mainly a console gamer. That's where I choose to do most of my gaming at. If you haven't noticed, like, my whole PC collection is literally games that I already own. Most of these games I already own on the consoles, but I'm like, I want to see those games at their maximum. Like, I want to see them at their maximum, and I do like to get on here and play around with them and experience that. There have been select titles that I've bought and beat on the PC that I just was having a hard time on the console, and that's fine. I mean, I mainly upgraded to AMD because Starfield will be highly optimized for AMD, for the AMD platform, and I want to give AMD the best coverage that I can, you know, just to be like, because if there's people in the community like me, like that bought the Nvidia card without even thinking about AMD, and we have questions that we want answered. We want to know, do we stay on the Nvidia hamster wheel and keep spending and spending and spending money, or do we jump off the hamster wheel onto AMD and just enjoy gaming? To me, I would say AMD is a lot closer to a console experience. Hear me out. AMD is closer to the console experience. Like you're getting, it's almost like getting an extra, like a higher tier PlayStation 5 or an Xbox Series X. You know, you're not getting, you're getting to keep all the stuff that you already have because it's the AMD platform. Like you're getting all of that, you're just getting more of that, and you're getting a better quality of everything that you've already got. Whereas Nvidia is pushing the boundaries with other technology like ray tracing and, you know, path tracing, all the other things that in AI and all the other things that Nvidia does. Like Nvidia is great, good at what they do, but at the same time, man, like most people just want to play games. Most people just want to play games. And once I noticed immediately when I jumped on the Nvidia platform, it wasn't about just gaming anymore. It's about power this, power that. Do I need more? What? And it's just, it was always like this like run around in my head. And now that I'm running around with the AMD platform, I'm like, man, like I'm feeling, I wouldn't say it's the honeymoon phase because I've been on PC now for almost for almost 2 years now. So I don't think it's like honeymoon phase anymore. It's just, it's something different. Like I still feel the same way about PC gaming as I felt the whole time. I'm still a console gamer. I like what PC does. I like the options that you have. But there's also a lot of headache that goes with this. There's a lot of headache that goes with PC gaming that like you don't, I don't even think anybody that's in the PC space that's vocal, that's online, or that is that's vocal online, I don't even know if any of us really ever come down out of that cycle of like that, being on that high, because you, like, a new product comes out, you're like, ooh, power, and then all the guys come out and they review it and you're like, yeah, that's so much better. And then you just get into this perpetual cycle of like, oh my gosh, feeling like, oh, should I upgrade? And especially if you're one of those, like me, I am such a freaking anxiety gamer. Like I have the most anxiety when it comes to gaming, that I'm just like, oh my gosh, my FOMO will start kicking in just out of nowhere, and I'll be like, yeah, I'm gonna do that, and then I do it. Like I usually give you guys pretty decent warning. You know, I start talking about something, and then a couple weeks later it shows up and I'm like, yeah, look what we got. And dude, I gotta stop doing that, not only to the community but to myself. And I feel like PC gaming is it's great, but I also feel like I feel like it's bad for me in some ways. Like I kind of feel like it's bad for me in some ways. I love what it does, but I feel like I'm the kind of person that just gets way too caught up in all the technology and all the, like, I want to do this and I want to do that. But I am to a point now with PC gaming that I actually want to sit down and fully learn what the heck is going on, so that I can get better at what I'm doing, so that I can understand it, so that I'm not like always like sitting here like asking questions or trying to figure things out, because I'm it's not that I have a problem with asking for help. It's that I like to figure things out. Like I got in there, like in the BIOS, and I'm just reading everything, and I'm looking up the definitions, and I'm reading everything, and I'm trying to figure out, you know, like what is going to optimize my system better. And that's what I do. So it takes so much of my time to sit here and try to learn this stuff, because I'm trying to learn it from the bottom up, as opposed to, you know, just watching like a video. Because let's face it, it's been what, 6 days now since I've switched over, and I'm still having this problem with the Ubisoft games and some other games, and like I found nothing. Like I haven't found nothing online. Nothing about what the problem that I'm experiencing. I haven't found anything because I don't think people actually. I don't know. I don't know why it's so hard to find anything. But it doesn't sound like anybody else is having this exact problem that I am. So maybe my card is bad, maybe something like that. But I don't think the card is bad because there's so many games that I play that I don't have any problems, that it's just a perfect freaking ride. So my plan today was to try to create a bunch of video from recorded video to show you guys, to have it playing, you know, like in the background while I was talking. And it's just such a pain in the butt. So I'm just gonna do like a small one of like Ghost Recon or something. I'll do like the little freezing. I'll do like a little freezing video for that, just so you can kind of see what happens. With Assassin's Creed Valhalla, it's just the sound flickers out. That's the problem that I have with that one. It'll be like a little frame drop, but the sound will like flicker out. And So it's I mean, it's honestly, it's like playing a Ubisoft game. It really is. Like when you play them on console, they're rarely ever stable. They come out buggy and they're like whatever. So it's like, so I don't feel like it's like it's that big of a deal because I'm used to it, because I'm such a Ubisoft fanboy and I've been playing their games for so long. But I wasn't having this problem on the Nvidia card, and that's something that's got me thinking, you know, about what I'm gonna do in the future. And I don't know, man. Like I kind of have a little bit of a bad taste in my mouth with Nvidia, but not to the point that I would never buy their product again. I just know that if I go back to Nvidia, like I'm not even playing around with any of their middle stuff. I'm not even playing around with that. I'm just gonna get the top of the line. And to me, this here was like right now I'm more set up for that if I need to go to a 4090 or something. Like I'm set up for that now. I've got the power supply, I've got the whole setup. All I need to do is buy the card and put it in there. So at this point, this was a good in between for me to get some more knowledge, to learn what's going on with the AMD platform, and to be able to make a better decision going forward for exactly what I need. Would I go out and buy a 7900 XTX? No, I wouldn't. Would I go out and buy a 4080? No, I wouldn't. I would, if I'm going to buy one, I'm going to get a 4090. I'm not even going to play around with anything. But there's a few things that I need them to fix. I need them to stop reporting that those things are catching on fire. Like I don't want to buy one of those cards and have it burn down. I want like the price to come down a little bit. Like I feel like a fair price for me to pay for a 4090, but I don't think they are. I mean, like $1,200. If they were $1,200, I probably would buy one. But anything other than that, unless I have some drastic problems with this AMD card, like I'm not going to be upgrading anytime soon. But I do kind of, you know, miss Nvidia a little bit. Like I'm not even going to lie, I do miss it, and it does take a little bit of time to get used to the new platform, get used to the new software, get used to the new way. Get used to the way things work now, like, and that's fine. That's fine. I mean, that's normal. I mean, it might sound like I'm trying to talk myself out of buying something or talk myself into buying something in this video, but these are the growing pains that you're going to go through from switching from Nvidia. That's why it's easier to get AMD first and then switch to Nvidia, because once you go Nvidia, it is hard, man. You do kind of leave some pretty cool forward thinking tech on the table. You do. Will AMD get there eventually? Do I have more faith in AMD supporting their cards long term? Yeah, I do. I definitely do. And I like that. I feel like I feel like the level of support you get for an AMD product is going to be much better going forward than it will be for an Nvidia card. And I know Nvidia does support their older stack, but it will be interesting to see how AMD handles the new technology, RDNA 3, or not RDNA 3, but FSR 3 coming to these new cards. Would the other old cards even be able to do this? Is something that I'm interested in, because I know that this generation of AMD cards has the AI compute units in it. So I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know, and maybe Nvidia wasn't lying to us, but that's the way I felt about it. That's the way I felt about it. They're trying to tell me that a 4060 can run frame generation, but a 4080 or 3080 can't. I don't know if I believe that, because there's tensor cores in there and all of the other stuff that they have in the Nvidia cards that obviously should be able to run that. So I don't know. I'm kind of calling their bluff on that, but at the end of the day, maybe they're not lying to us, and maybe Nvidia's is just at a point where it's like, look, man, if we want to keep making money with graphics cards, we're gonna have to raise our prices. We're gonna have to almost double our prices just to move forward with what we were making, because these cards are getting significantly better than they ever were before, and like there's really not a whole lot of room we have. I don't know. I'm not going to make excuses for any of these guys. These are expensive graphics cards, especially with the level I decided to jump into. Like this is no joke, man. These things are a house payment, dude. These things are I guess house payments are like $2,400 now a month. So these are technically car payments now. These are a car payment or more, you know, a whole food budget for a month for these graphics cards. And I know that sounds, I know that I have a tendency to make things like not sound so bad, but to me one graphics card, this graphics card was like a week's worth of pay. Like a week's worth of pay. That to me is like, I mean, if it's doable and what I make in a week, it's easier for me to justify spending that much over trying to spend 2 weeks worth of money for the Nvidia stuff. You know what I mean? So that's just a little bit easier. That's kind of the way I look at it. It's a little bit easier. And I don't know, man. I do a lot of this stuff for the channel too. I do a lot of this stuff for the channel. I put my money out there so that I can buy these products to kind of help you, to help my friends in the community, you know, decide if, like, look, man, because here's the thing, man, on that Nvidia hamster wheel, and this is the way I feel about it, man. I feel like you're on a hamster wheel. I feel like you're just always chasing and chasing and chasing and chasing, because that's the way I felt. So I am projecting when I say that, like, I am projecting that I feel like you would be in the exact same boat that I was. And it's not hard to see why you would be there. Like, it's really not. Like, you buy a 3080, you got 10 gigs of RAM, you're selling along perfectly, you know, you're even doing 4K at 60 frames a second, and then boom, stop dead in your tracks with one new game coming out, and you're like, what? How am I back down to 1080p if I want max settings? Or how, like I really got to drop to medium settings now to play this game? And that's that's mind-blowing. That's mind-blowing when you get used to something and then all of a sudden you're like, boom, you can't have it no more. Like, console generations, if you're a console player, graphics usually get better over time. Things usually get better over time. And with PC, they get worse over time. You know what I mean? They get worse over time, and it's completely backwards. It's completely backwards, man. It's so insane that, but I mean, they get worse over time as you go into newer games, but as your older games age out and you get newer hardware, they get significantly better. I say you bottom out like right now with graphics cards, you're going to be able to hit your full visuals and everything. But as time goes on, you'll be able to get more frame rate, because I mean, the graphics are never going to get any better than they already are. They're going to stay the way they already are when you max them out. So there's really, PC is super. It's really good, but it's also really like, oh my gosh, man, like you'll get some really high frame rates on some games and it'll feel amazing, and then you'll get frame rates that are just good enough to play, and then you're like, what the heck? Oh, I don't know. I like this AMD card. I think it's pretty good. I think it's pretty solid. We'll keep testing it. We'll keep playing around with it. I'll start playing some more games with it, and then yeah, I've got like another 120 games, another 140 games on there to test and make some videos on. So if you like this content, my friends, do not forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. It's a long video. Thank you for watching.